Hi, I'm Gutenberger Martin. I'm a history major and surveyor of historic buildings, and I would like to talk to you about not one but two things we got this week from Warhorse about KCD2. One is the map of the town of Gutenberg, how it will look like in a game, and the second one is the gameplay video in the length of 25 minutes. I decided to split this in two videos, but you can watch them both, so I hope you enjoy it. In this video I will talk about the map, so about all the important places, landmarks, so you get some idea how big the town is and what are the dimensions and important places you can visit when the game is out. So let's do this.
Will you help us?
Martin!
I know it's stupid, but I couldn't resist. I think you understand that. Okay, so let's go to the serious business at hand, and that is this gorgeous map of Kutná Hora, or Gutenberg, if you will. Alright, so let's start with districts. What parts of the town we have there? Today, historical center of the town is like this huge piece of land, and we can divide it into three different quarters. Actually two, but yeah, you will hear. So the main part is of course this in the center, this like square where most of the buildings are, and they are most nicely built and everything. It's called Upper Town. Then we have Lower Town. It's you can see it's separated by a wall, so it's like two towns. There's not much happening here. There are not like these town buildings. It's more like farm buildings and whatever. And then we have this part. It's like the Santa Barbara Cathedral part. So in this time period, there is actually nothing much here. But of course, today, when we talk about historical center, it's a natural part of that too. But in this period, it's divided also by a wall. Here's actually a nice detail that St. Barbara is holding the cathedral. That's actually, I will show you this painting that's from 1410, around that. So it's actually from the time period when Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is taking place. So you can see that that's pretty much it. That of course, Santa Barbara is usually holding the tower with three windows. It's because of the legend, but I think that's nice. They used here Barbara as to hold the cathedral under construction. Yeah, so I was really thinking about how to put some order in my speaking, because I would be able to talk about a lot of stuff here for hours, but that would be probably boring and too chaotic for you. So I decided the first buildings we look at are churches, because they are like natural landmarks in the towns, and there are not so many, but also not so few. So let's jump into it. Here you go. Okay, so let's start in this like newly built district or whatever we call it here around Santa Barbara Cathedral, because there are actually two buildings of this churchly character. First is of course construction site of the Santa Barbara Cathedral itself, and the second one is Corpus Christi Chapel. It has like this tent roof, so it's clearly visible on a lot of screenshots. We will take a look at them at the end. It will be like a test for you if you paid attention what's going on. Then, of course, the main church in the town is St. James. It's right here. And yeah, it as I told in my previous videos, it's most preserved church that looks almost same today as it looked in 1403. It's like 60%, which is like 59% more than most of the buildings. So yeah, you can take it as most preserved building in town. Yeah, of course, the tower is today higher than it was in that time. Also, I'm not sure if in 1403 it was already St. James Church, because yeah, simply it was dedicated to Virgin Mary, and I'm not sure when they changed it. I would have to look it up, so don't worry about that. But yeah, it will be probably St. James already. Yeah, then here in Upper Town we have also the St. Bartholomeus. That's right here next to the town wall. And in the Lower Town we have two churches also. One is John the Baptist. That's not there anymore. It burned down. So don't come to look for that. And here is Church of Virgin Mary at Náměť, we call it. So yeah, and here at the outskirts, here is actually Church of Saint Peter and Paul. It was in a center of mining settlement called Roveň. It means like it's on flatlands, because here you have the valley of the river, and then here is the terrain goes steep up, and then there is like a flatland yeah, place where was a lot of mining happening, and there was this minor settlement. But actually from the map it seems the church is there alone, and I don't see much buildings around him. There are only those ventilators to the shafts. Really important things if you don't want to suffocate. But yeah, we will see how it will look in the game. Okay, that's probably about churches. Let's go to next thing. What is also quite clear building viewed from distance, it's the gates, because it's the tower. So yeah, you can see them from distance, and they also mark the important connections to other towns. So where all the like traveler merchants are going. So you can actually see one here going from the direction of Prague. So let's start here. So this gate is called Kouřim's Gate. It will be called probably differently in a game, because all these names with R, this Czech stupid syllable, are changed by Warhorse somehow. So for example, we saw in gameplay showcase village Přítoky, which is right here, and it was called somehow differently, because yeah, it would be complicated for you to pronounce. But yeah, it's it kind of gives me the homework to learn the new names when the game is out. So I will call it Kouřim's Gate now, because that's how we call it. Yeah, and it's in direction to Prague, so really important direction from the town. The other one here, it's in the direction to Kolín. That is a big town nearby, so it's Kolín's Gate. This tower is in direction to Sedlec Monastery, so it's like Monastery's Gate. And this gate goes to town of Čáslav. That's also quite important town. Kolín and Čáslav, they are both older than Kutná Hora. They were like founded to like mark the presence in this landscape, And when the silver was found, Kutná-Hora kind of squeezed between them, and it was a lot of problems at the beginning of the town. But that's totally different topic. Simply, there are just two towns nearby. Okay, so I marked these 4 gates because they are really important because of the connection to the other towns or the monastery in this case. But there are, of course, lots of other gates. You can see that, for example, here it's called Czech Gate. Later it was called Gate of Žižka, the famous general in Hussite wars. Then we have here the new gate. It was called in the time period of the game, but then when the St. Barbara Cathedral was more than just what it is in the game, it was called St. Barbara's Gate because it goes to St. Barbara Cathedral. And you have some like small gates here between towns. For example, this one that's called Roper's Gate. So like probably some ropers lived here. And yeah. Okay, so let's not get too swamped in this. It's enough if you remember those 4. Okay, let's go to the next topic. So let's call this chapter Important Buildings. I will show you some buildings that are important for the town and briefly tell you what was happening there, if I know that, or if it's not obvious from the function. So for example, here, this is a fountain. It was important, of course, for water, but especially in Kutná-Hora, you needed the drinking water from a fresh source. It was outside of the town near Bilany village, and with pipes it was piped into a town because you could not drink something from the river here. It was all poisoned from the mining activities, so it would not be really healthy to do that. Here is Hrádek, so it's like little castle in English. It was quite fortified building, and in the time of the game we are not sure who exactly owned it, but it's assumed it was Václav of Donín. About him maybe another time. But it's even today it's pretty dominant building in that part of the town. So now the top shelf stuff, that's Italian court. That's where it all happened, all the minting of the coins. The groschen, you probably remember from the first game. In this time period, it was only allowed to be made on one place on this planet, and that was this building. You can here actually see this tiny little roofs. It's because there were like 16 companies, if I'm not mistaken, who had like their own little room where they made these coins. So that's why it's so weirdly divided to several, like 16 little houses. And it was largely protected, and in a game I think we will not be really allowed to go there. I think it will be probably some fun to break in and steal some coins. And now we have here the town hall. It's unfortunately that doesn't exist anymore. It burned down in 1424, but in this time period that was where the municipality politics was happening. Yeah, next to it there's meat shop. I will probably talk about it in the next video more. Okay, yeah, and this is not important for you. It's just where I sit right now. Yeah, okay. Let's take a look to a next picture. So in this last picture, I didn't mark anything really because that would be probably more confusing. But I would like to talk about these channels. Here on the outskirts, you can see that there are a lot of buildings there, and what they are there for. Well, you have the river here. Actually, it's not a river; it's more like a stream because yeah, people are always laughing at us when we call it river. But in dry months, you can actually jump across that. It's not so big. So yeah, you have this Vrchlice stream here, and then next to it, you can see there are some channels. They are man-made, of course. It's not natural, and it's because you use this water to power all the mills here. So the water power was really important in this time period because yeah, if you put the effort to building these channels, so it's not going too steep down, but it's kind of more horizontal most of the way, then when it reaches the mill, it can really hit the water wheel with more power, and you can make a lot of stuff with this power. Yeah, so not just for processing crops, but also like a hammer for processing the ore from a mines, etc. So you can use it for a lot of stuff. So you have like one here, this channel, and the second one goes like here, and then here next to the river goes to the Sedlec monasteries, to that area. So let's have a test. I will probably jump between this image and the map so you are not too confused. So on this image, we are like here on this place, and we are looking in this direction. So we see St. James Church and this gate, this Bohemian gate or Czech gate, later called Žižka's gate. So it's this. Here's St. James. Here is this gate. And from the other stuff, we can saw there's also a partly Italian court and this Saint John the Baptist Church. And also, of course, this building, it's like quite monumental here, but I'm not sure now if it's Rudhard's house. In my opinion, yes, but we will see in a game if it's not like this one. But no, I think it will be this one. So this is Italian court. We can partly see, and here's this Saint John the Baptist Church. Okay, next picture. So here's another view of the town. We see again the St. James Church. Here's this St. John Baptist Church. This is this Czech or Bohemian gate, later Žižka's gate. Here is Italian court, should be this. And here the tower, that's actually from town hall. Yeah, I will probably go back to map so you are not confused. Yeah, so St. James, here St. John Baptist, Italian court, and here behind is the town hall with this like cone shaped roof. Yeah. And on the other side, we will see this small church of Peter and Paul, and of course St. Barbara Cathedral or this construction site, and Corpus Christi Chapel. The Corpus Christi Chapel is actually more visible from most of the pictures, because it has this really dominant tent roof. So that's Corpus Christi, and here in front of it is this Peter and Paul church, in this like mining settlement. Here you can saw that also on a map, so it's like landmarks, this ventilators. Yeah, here behind, this is the construction site of Santa Barbara Cathedral. Okay, let's go to the last one. Here we look from north, so from here, and so we are way outside of the town, so we can see these two gates quite clearly. One is to Kouřim, one is to Kolín. Those are those two. This is to Kouřim, this is to Kolín, and right in front of us is tower of the St. Bartholomew's Church, and this one is St. James. So you have St. Bartholomew's here, St. James is here, and you can also see a little bit the town hall, because it's so weirdly shaped, so it's like a cone. Yeah, and of course here on the right is this Corpus Christi Chapel, and here is St. Barbara Cathedral behind this bush. Actually, this maybe could be the St. Wenceslaus. That's far behind the town, but it could be in the right direction. It's like here. So if we look from there, it should be like between this tower and Corpus Christi. So okay, so it's kind of everything there. So it's between this gate and Corpus Christi. This gate, yeah, so we are looking somewhere from here. Yeah, that could be actually St. Wenceslaus. Yeah. Well, you see something new every day. And this is of course Sedlec Monastery. So yeah, I hope we will see more from that soon. That will be also great. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope I was able to cut it down so it's more fluent and it has more drive than just blabbering. But anyway, if you enjoy this kind of videos, please subscribe, leave a comment, and like this video so I have some feedback from you, and I know if it makes sense to do more stuff like this. So that would be great. So yeah, thank you. Bye.